I am an E3 visa.
And I am an H1B visa. We are both U.S. work visas for professionals, but we are very different.
Firstly, the E3 visa is only available to Australian citizens. There are 10,500 E3 visas available annually, but this number has never been exceeded, so E3 visas are available all year.
Applications for the H1B visa are only accepted during a brief window early each year. There are 65,000 H1B visas available with an additional 20,000 under the advanced degree exemption. However, there are more than 200,000 applicants, making it in effect a lottery.
The E3 visa is valid for 2 years, but can be renewed every 2 years as long as the employee has ties to Australia, such as a bank account. There are many examples of Australians who have been working with the same employer on an E3 visa for more than 10 years.
The H1B visa can only be extended to a maximum of 6 years before the employee must transition to a green card.
An employee on an E3 visa can transition to a green card, but the timing of that transition is at the discretion of the employer.
Applying for an H1B visa can be very expensive. In addition to legal fees, as the application requires a Form I-129, there are filing fees in the thousands of dollars. And there is no guarantee the application will be accepted.
There are no USCIS filing fees for an E3 visa. The employer simply completes an LCA form with the Department of Labor. Approval from the Department of Labor generally takes about a week. Once the LCA is approved, a DS-160 application is made for an appointment at a U.S. consulate either in Australia or any country with a U.S. consulate. Once the appointment with a U.S. consulate is confirmed, the Australian citizen takes copies of their degree and a letter of support from the employer to the consulate interview. There are no filing fees for either an LCA or a DS-160, and there is only a $315 fee for the E3 visa approval stamp from the consulate. Therefore, an Australian can be working for a US company in about 2 to 3 weeks from the job offer.
The processing time for an H1B application takes about 4 months using premium processing for an additional fee of $2,500. Still, there is no guarantee that the application will be successful.
If you are considering employing an Australian citizen, you are very fortunate that they do not require sponsorship on an H1B.
Yes, the E3 visa is special and was granted to Australian citizens due to the close ties between Australia and the US.
Just to recap, there are no USCIS application fees for an E3 visa. An I-129 application is not required, reducing the need for legal fees. The only cost is the $315 paid to the U.S. consulate for the E3 visa stamp. A letter of support from the employer is required and contains the same language as a job offer, with additional language such as stating that a bachelor's degree is required for the position. Most importantly, the employee can be available to work in the U.S. within a few weeks of the job offer. One additional benefit of the E3 visa is that spouses of E3 visa holders automatically receive U.S. work authorization.
So the E3 visa is truly a unique opportunity to quickly hire highly talented, motivated employees, without placing the burden of sponsorship on an employer.
If you would like more information on the E3 visa application process and review an example of a letter of support, you can visit the Australian Community's website at aucommunity.org. A link is in the description. Cheers!